Western Europe is where artists go when they say they're going on a Europe tour. And the line is strictly defined like this.
Poland is not Western Europe? Unlucky.
On the west of Czechia, there is civilization, businessmen in suits, and Mercedes. And on the east, there are construction workers, plumbers, and Mercedes, but
Plumbers. He said plumbers.
old. Western Europeans look at Eastern Europeans as a source of cheap immigrant labor who are also sort of white. Polish and Ukrainian people might look white to you, but Western European race science can get complicated at times. These are the big boys, the colonizers, the bike lane people, the real
The amount of shorts there, the amount of cargo shorts.
big boy here, and which many of you know from history, is Germany, better known to Eastern Europeans as, oh yeah, my cousin lives there.
Dude, I've been to Berlin in Germany. It is not a nice place. I really didn't like Berlin. It is so loud. Everyone stares at you relentlessly. And also when I went, it was like 33 degrees Celsius. I was melting.
Everyone says Berlin is not a good representation of Germany, and this might be true. However, I've only been to Berlin, and I fucking
Berlin fell off. Oh, wow. Actually, everyone is in agreement.
loved it. Germany usually looks like this, but Berlin is just gray because
Yeah. Yeah, that is the most Berlin street I've seen in my life. Just shut down, graffiti everywhere.
of the Soviet occupation. And whenever you're in Berlin, it literally feels like Stalin's ghost is looking at you from above. And you can literally see the Soviet divide because after a certain point, commie blocks just spawn in. Also, Berlin is the most lit place ever. I went there with 3 of my friends and we had so much fun. It was amazing. There were diddy parties everywhere. I also went into a gay store, which we don't have in Georgia, because it
A gay store. Oh my god, it is actually a gay store. I thought it was doing a bit. They've actually got gay bear.
will get shelled by artillery, and saw a bunch of interesting things, and also got to talk with Elon Musk in there. And the Berlin Döner, oh my god, bruh, it's so good. I swear they put crack in
That looks disgusting. How can anyone like doner kebab, man? I ordered doner kebab like when I was in Stockholm, like late at night. Yeah, doner's I remember ordering a doner at like 2 in the morning because there was like nowhere open, and it was actually just biting into like a baking sheet covered in oil.
Berlin Döner, bro. I would not be surprised because there's certainly not a lack of drugs in Berlin, but
A doner's only good when you're drunk. Isn't that with like all food though? You just enjoy it more if you're like inebriated.
it's so good. Going to Berlin and not trying a doner is like going to Berlin and not fucking a dude. And the funny fact is, if you removed Berlin from Germany, the country would get richer. Them having Berlin literally
Berlin is the only European capital that makes the country poorer.
loses them money. Absolutely.
I remember when I was in Berlin, there was a guy that was selling me a gas mask, like a World War II gas mask. And I'm like pretty into them, like collecting them and stuff. I mean, I've only got like 3. But I bought it, and then I looked it up online, the model, and I realized it had asbestos in the filter. It came with a filter, by the way. The filter was still on it. It was like a Soviet gas mask. Like the rubber goes all the way like over your head. And it literally said, do not wear this. It still has traces of asbestos in it.
Cinema City. Then there is the rest of Germany, which has these extremely goofy outfits and dances, which I like.
Can you
Like, look at
please
them. You
react
almost
to
can't
the game
believe
that
they
killed
declared war on the entire world twice. Of course, they lost every single one for now, but seeing as Ryan
They lost every single war for now. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
metal is growing and the new chancellor is rearming Germany, let's see where that takes us. The new chancellor will rearm Germany just in time for
Ah, thank you, Ross, for the raid, bro. Appreciate it. How you doing, man? I hope you've been good. Thank you for the raid, little bro. Message me on Transcord when you get a chance, because I wanna catch up with you and stuff. But yeah, thank you for the raid, bro. I appreciate it.
for the AfD, the fascist party, to win elections in 4 years. And then the fascists will have all these guns, and Poland is looking there so fertile and so protected. And they have their little brother down to the south named Austria. Vienna is like the most beautiful city ever.
The only thing I've heard about Vienna is there is no nightlife there. It's great for the tourist attractions and the churches and stuff, but apart from that, there is nothing.
Ever. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it is also so boring, man. Oh my god, bro. Ain't shit to do in Vienna. Literally, when I was there by 8 or 9 p.m., the streets were fucking empty. Like, god damn, bro. Go outside. I don't get it, man. Is Diddy roaming the streets at night? Where the fuck are all the people at? And
Wait. Diddy actually has a 50-foot bed? Oh, I'm not even surprised.
the thing is, the route I went was from Berlin, the latest place in Europe, to fucking Vienna, which is the most boring city probably in Europe for partying or something. But if you're into history and art, they have so much of that. First of all, every street in Vienna looks like it was crafted by an artist. I was looking down some random fucking alleyways and it looked gorgeous. Also,
Why is everything so funny if you speed it up twice?
so much history. For example,
You look like you're reviewing music right now.
there's Cafe Central in Vienna, and nearby there, in 1913 to 14, used to live Stalin, Sigmund Freud, Hitler, Trotsky, and the Emperor of
Did he censor out the mustache so the algorithm didn't pick up on that?
Austria. Insane
I like how he had a picture. He had a video of him dancing as AI earlier on, but that picture needs to be censored.
lineup. Only in Vienna, bruh. The buildings in this city
Imagine waiting in line for a coffee. Yeah, there's... I've noticed in the cities, like, there's a couple of dessert shops and stuff, and they just always have such a huge queue outside them. It's like, why?
look amazing. They built these buildings to tell you and show you that they are better than you. Like, the only reason for building this fancy shit is just to flex on you. Like, yeah, we're better than you. What are you gonna do about it? But the thing is, Turks finally made it to Vienna, which is how you get Ferhat Doner, which is famous for being so good. And when I checked it out, there was literally a fucking line
I like how any place I show speed goes to, he just always overreacts.
of Austrians waiting to get in, and it's so good, bro. I nearly busted under that table. But the Austrians are clearly not appreciating these nice Turkish men making this food, because why the fuck are they voting for a Nazi party? Oh, just because they don't want immigrants, they're not Nazis. Motherfucker, the party was founded by an SS lieutenant. Look at this shit, bro. What are you on about? And the thing you will notice after being in Vienna is that Austrians like to follow rules and orders. Me and Leo literally had a security guard of a bar coming up to us when we were smoking outside to shush and not be too loud, because those are the rules. He was telling this to literally other people that were speaking in normal voices, not being loud. And he had that look. I'm just following orders. But I knew he was secretly enjoying it, which is
I like how the caption was just when you talk after 10 p.m.
a metaphor. And me personally, I don't like a German or an Austrian guy telling me to do something, telling me to follow orders, you know. I think they learned in World War II about talking to Georgians that way, you know. And Austria is generally very gorgeous because they have Vienna, which is probably the best looking city in Europe. And when you go outside, it's these beautiful mountains with nice water.
Oh, that looks yummers. It looks like Switzerland.
Just absolute cinema. This looks cartoonishly good. And a lot of famous people are actually from Austria, like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
He censored out his name.
Mozart, Sigmund Freud, and
Sigma Freud.
a person who has been gaining a big following lately, especially in America. But I don't care what kind of war crimes they have committed. Have you tried schnitzel? It's so good. Going to Austria and not eat
Very... That was the most, like, out-of-pocket transition I've ever seen.
Eating schnitzel daily is like going to America and not eating a burger. Belgium is a fictional country in Europe made up by the European Union bureaucrats with the intent of smuggling all of Europe's cocaine and headquartering the European Union. This is precisely why half the country speaks French and the other half speaks Dutch.
Okay, that is hilarious, though. How is that a real language? I've seen that meme so many times. We have been in serious problem. Like, I thought he tweeted that when he was drunk, but no, that's just the way that they speak. We have been in serious problem.
Dutch. This is also why they don't really care about Belgium. It looks like shit, and Brussels is so fucking ass that there's literally a term for it called Brusselization, which means making your city look like shit. The roads suck, and the border from Belgium to the Netherlands looks
Yeah, it sounds like Jar Jar Binks.
like this, where you can clearly see the divide between an actual country and the fictional entity known as Belgium. Belgium is where most of Europe's evil takes place, and this has been the case throughout history as well. Not to forget the shit they were doing in the Congo, Belgian chocolate...
Wait, so, something just came to my mind right now. Something literally just came to my mind right now. This video came out on this channel called Neo, right? And it's going over like the fall of Saddam Hussein, right? And there's a bit where they talk about the statue of him being taken down, being toppled, right? Do you hear the pipe, the metal pipe falling sound effect? Do you hear it? I need you guys to confirm with me on this, because if not, I'm going absolutely insane. It's very quiet. It's very quiet.
The statue was toppled. After realizing the image this created, the soldiers quickly replaced their flag with an Iraqi one, and then the statue was toppled. But though his likeness was brought to the
You hear that, right? You hear that? I'm not crazy. Listen.
But though his likeness was brought to the ground,
You hear that? You hear that? They used the metal pipe falling. That could be where it came from. That could actually be, it could be the Saddam Hussein statue toppling. That could be where it came from.
But though his likeness was brought to the ground, the real Saddam was
Like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. I'm not going crazy because I thought I was actually losing it.
statue was toppled.
It could be lore. This could be lore. This could be where it came from. There is no way they added this in post for a bit. Listen. Let's slow it down. You can hear it.
But though his likeness was brought to the ground, the real
Okay. All right, that was my side quest done. I don't know why it just came into my head. It just came into my head for like no reason.
My fucking ass, not a single cacao tree grows in Belgium. Man, I wonder how they became so famous for Belgian chocolate if they don't have
They added it in post? No, that's actual audio. That's actual audio. Thank you, Lake Man, for the 10 months.
cocoa in Belgium.
Make the Evangelion video, maybe.
And because the EU is headquartered there, the whole country got used to hypocrisy. They say we are sanctioning Russia and then keep buying gas and oil and everything from them. And of course, exporting products as well. More things as well, such as when they honored the Congolese leader they helped overthrow. I hate to agree with Nigel Farage on something, but I do consider Belgium a fake country. Their colony of the Congo was fake. They didn't even colonize it themselves. It's a massive EU headquarters.
Thank you for the 10, Monkel.
With cocaine and bad roads. They made Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything to come out of Belgium, apart from chocolate, I guess. Or maybe that's Switzerland.
Though, you know, they get very big points for that.
Now, despite the UK's kind of democratic decision to fucking nuke
It's Geopold.
its economic and political ties to the EU 9 years ago, it's still an important player in Western Europe. I swear, bro. The UK has Europe's second largest economy, and it's
Apparently, our economy grew by 0.5% in the last month. Which I'm not very surprised about, because the economy was basically just going to go into negative percentage.
assuming you're not counting Russia or Turkey.
Thank you, Ono, for the 15 months.
Great Britain also has Europe's second largest population, which is kind of insane because we don't even rank top.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm in place Sweden at the minute, and it's crazy to think that, like, the entire country of Sweden, which is like 5 times bigger than the UK, they've only got like a couple 100,000 more people than just London.
Top 10 in Europe by actual size. Fucking Finland is bigger than the UK by area, which is why this country can feel like such a compacted cluster of fuckery sometimes. You could drive 1 hour down the motorway, or alternatively sit on a 50 quid significantly delayed
Very bad, the subway train I was traveling on.
sweaty train full of angry geezers just like yourself, and you'll
Nigel
end up in a
Farage is
completely different world from where you started your journey. The accents, the scenery, the slang, the buildings, the people's looks. You can literally switch biomes in like half an hour in this country. I've never been anywhere quite like it. For example, let's say you started off in Wolverhampton, yeah? Wolvo? The far west of the...
That place is terrible. That place is horrendous.
Hampton, yeah? Wolvo? The far west of the West Midlands. We call this region of our county the Black Country, because from the Industrial Revolution...
Have any of you heard the Black Country accent? They rated the Birmingham accent as the worst accent in the UK. How is the Black Country accent not rated lower?
Until about...
Well, if you want to know how the black country accent sounds, pet, it sounds a bit like this. Would you want some fish and chips, pet?
1970, there was enough coal being burned in these parts to cover everyone and everything in soot. It's industrial, it's rough, it's not very aesthetically pleasing, but at least the people sound funny.
This is a quick video message here to Donald Trump's Vladimir Putin,
I actually thought that was Boogie for a second.
Vladimir Zelensky, and to Israel. Let me know you. Right, you all invade him everywhere. Israel's after Gaza, apparently. Russia's after Ukraine. Donald Trump's
Literally all the Fable characters sound like that. Yep. Yep. Fable's based on the West Midlands.
wants Canada and Iceland. But look, we'll come to a compromise.
I love the UK because we all hate each other so much. If you travel 15 minutes in any direction, there'll be a completely different dialect.
Because none of us want to see World War IV happen. None of us want that. I ain't getting involved with it unless I can do it remotely on the PlayStation with the
blind lion doesn't
not with my back. Right?
What does that mean?
So I've got a solution for you. You can all share this and we
I'm so happy there's subtitles because I would not be able to understand a single word he's saying.
can call it peace. I'm willing to compromise and say to you all, you can all have London. Yeah? You can all have London. The
You
capital
should send
of
all
England.
homeless people to Birmingham.
You can have it because it's full of
Thank you, Asbestos Gaming, for the prime.
total cunts like yourself.
Then about an hour down the road, you'll have driven through 3 different English counties: Hereford,
I am
Staffordshire,
omniing it. I am
Shropshire,
omniing
then
it.
your rural city. Here they have thick
But thank you for the 10, I appreciate it.
Welsh accents because they speak the fucking mythical language of Welsh, not English. They got castles, rolling hills, sheep farms, you know, everything you could expect in Wales. And bro, Gigi, please put a photo of some Welsh words on the screen right now so they can see how insanely foreign this shit is. Nah, bro, I should have never trusted this Welsh plug, bro. Fuck you mean I gotta go meet you round the back of Lanfair, Flgwyn, Gwyn, Glgogor, Free,
That's not real. That cannot be a real place. Oh, no, it is. I think I saw, like, BBC cover it. No, Channel 4 covered it. That's right. And they were basically saying how it was just, like, the longest name in like, all of the UK.
Rywyn, Dobry, Williants, Silo, Go, Goch, train station. I'm not doing that, bro. Anyway, so from there, you drive 30 minutes down the road, you're back in England. And God forbid you're in Chester, known for being genuinely like the poshest.
Sea Dog said it. Yeah, he's Welsh, right? I'm really surprised that he's Welsh because he doesn't have, like, a Welsh accent at all.
Most upper class city in all of North England. People here have posh English accents, you know. Fetch me my cream tea, woman. Yeah, Chester looks insane. It's like all Tudor buildings. It's one of the few English cities that have these
Since we're
famous
going to be
horse
honest,
races,
did
the
you ever get
Chester
around to
races
commissioning
that are
the gas
attended
expert
solely
I
by
recommended?
inbred posh
You
drunk
know,
wankers.
the big
They got
dog, the
wine
one I
bars,
drew with
upper
me
class
trapped in your
nightclubs
Sona's
with
stomach
insane
at one
dress
time
codes
for
and
war
shit.
day.
You know, type of
No
places that
rush,
me and
just
Gatsu would
curious.
immediately be kicked out of for looking
Vorday is not a real day. But they give you the 10 Warbler. Thank you, Osmaniac, for the prime as well. Appreciate it.
into hood, which has happened before, only in Vienna. So yeah, that should paint a good picture of Chester for you all. Then, an approximately 40-minute drive later,
Why would you go to Liverpool? Why would you go to Liverpool?
you've made it to Merseyside, Liverpool, where even I, a lifelong Brummie, struggles to understand the accent.
I'm Sam, you know, Paul, I'm fucking buzzing. 3-1 win against Arsenal, only team to win the first 3 games. Is right.
Is that real? What is he saying? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Thank you, Chief, for the 10.
Come, mate.
This city is industrial,
The Scouse accent is peak. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
rough, not much of a looker. Like 29% of children in Liverpool live in poverty. And just like where I'm from, Liverpool is in the top 10 UK cities on the crime index.
Bradford and Nottingham, Liverpool, Belfast. What's the worst one? Bradford? I've heard nothing good about Bradford at all. Coventry? Yeah, I've passed through Coventry a couple of times. It is not a nice area.
So yeah, hopefully aside from absolutely making the day of anyone who's a relevant British city I just mentioned, that has given you a good example of how condensed this damn island is. We really
Thank you, Ree, for the prime.
You cannot do
the
anything
entire
against the
population
bullying.
of France
Pyro,
into the
you'll end up
land
sticking-
area of Kyrgyzstan, or like 2 Guatemalas, okay? All I'm saying. I mean, if you have a look at the metro areas of like Manchester or Birmingham or Glasgow or obviously London, you can kind of see how the word city is just an abstract concept on this island. We live more like splatters of baked beans on a long toasty soldier. Real ones know, man. Real ones know. But yeah.
That is so yummers. I know some people that when they do like toast, they dip their tea in it, which is disgusting. I don't know why people do that. Doing it in egg, it's cinema, absolute cinema. But with that, I don't know.
Yeah, I've probably recorded enough now for Gigi to edit for another 2 weeks, and also to preserve my mental health a bit. And instead of delving too deep into the politics of this land I call home, I will give you a single stock image to represent how me and every single other Brit, apart from the occasional billionaire, feels right now.
Getting ready to go babysit. Vimina Krul Mis
What?
Stresses who wear shit like this to excite little boys, and they don't even have the decency to molest them. I have never been less surprised to see a French flag in my life than attached to this post. France is a country that gets a lot of hate. I think like 90% of it is deserved, mostly because of their colonies in Africa and their neo-colonialism they're still doing, literally having the word France-Afrique in today's age. And even though their president is pretty handsome in my opinion, I kind of don't like that he went to Africa out of his fucking mind and started telling the locals that they should be grateful for France. When I'm out, I start posting about how bad the Armenian genocide was. We are not the same, Macron. You should be grateful we give you diapers even though we take away gold. Get a load of this cracker. I hate to say it, man, but I still kinda like France. No, don't unsubscribe, no. I fuck with their policies and their work laws and how much they love to protest. Game recognizes game, you know? Every worker can unionize and they are protected by the state. Employers can't fire you on some bullshit.
Don't they have bidets? I used a bidet in Australia once. They're terrible.
They have a 35-hour work week compared to the standard of 40. And if you work overtime, they pay you 125% of the money for the first 8 hours and 150% for the rest. Also, a lot of companies include the 13th month's salary, which is
It's
just
my birthday
one
today,
full
Pyro.
month's
Will you say
salary
happy
they
birthday?
give you a year as a bonus. Just go to labor laws, bro. I can't lie. Paris gets a lot of shit, you know. I've seen La Haine. I love that movie. And I don't know why, but I still think Paris is pretty nice. I can't believe that other parts of France are much nicer and look better, but come on, man. Paris is really not that bad. Y'all are just hating. Go to Prague, bro, and tell me Paris is worse. Get the fuck out of here. Also, the fact that they got 70% of their power from nuclear power. What do you want me to say, man? They're a rich...
Wait, is there like a bidet war in the chat? No, I mean, I've used bidets before, but like, I don't know, man. It's just, you use it and you just don't feel clean afterwards. You're just using water.
First world European country with good labor laws. It's pretty good. But in my opinion, they need to stop voting for parties that are named things like La Pédophile Raciste, you know? Are you ever planning to go to Switzerland? I googled and saw Georgians get 90 days visa free. Trust me, it's worth it. Bro, I don't know how much money you think I make off YouTube, but it isn't that much. Switzerland is a fictional...
He's lying, he's a millionaire. I've talked to him.
...country in Europe, invented by Germans...
You're supposed to use soap? There is no way you're meant to use soap on your butt crack. There's no way.
French and the Italians, in order to have a place where they can put all of their looted gold, such as when Switzerland helped launder 91 tons of Nazi gold, and when the war ended, they only returned 3 tons. What happened to the rest? They don't know where it went, because, you know, you can easily lose 90 tons of gold. It's just like pocket change. Them being evil and helping every rich person in the world launder money aside, Switzerland is goated, man. The only issue is whenever you say you're Swiss and you try to talk about life problems, everyone in the world will tell you to shut the fuck up. Nobody in Switzerland has ever gone through 100th of bullshit that anyone in Eastern Europe has ever gone through, plus Turkey, honorable mention. But that's only because they're ruled by a Georgian, so what do you expect? My country is ruled by Georgians as well, and it's the complete opposite of Switzerland. The only thing we have in common are the gorgeous mountains. Flying over Switzerland reminded me of flying over the Caucasus. That is a very big compliment, because the shit was gorgeous, man. And we're the Swiss...
One of the main things I know about Switzerland is just so many people move there because the tax is just so incredibly low.
its win is their amazing protection of their environment and these cool ass trains. How did they even do this, man? Swiss trains are literally made for dates.
So I
Swiss
actually
train
have a
views are
bidet in my
gorgeous.
house.
This shit
It's
looks
my
like a Studio
boyfriend and he
Ghibli
pees
film.
in
Oh
between
my
my
god,
fattest
got you.
cheeks, so
Thank
the
you for
ice
telling
cream
me.
man
I
is
want to
here.
go there now.
But
Yeah,
I'm
about
too
that.
fat.
Unless you make a bunch of money or have
These donors are extra degen today, man.
your trip covered by a Belgian
Maybe the
billionaire
10.
making money off mines in the Congo and laundering his money through Switzerland. Good luck visiting there, man. You cannot even get a hotel in Switzerland with a private bathroom for less than $1,000 a week. Let me say this in American. 20 chicken McNuggets in American McDonald's cost $8. Swiss McDonald's cost $21 for 20 chicken.
That is like the price of Five Guys. That is crazy. That's insane. Like, how? They must get paid so much salary over there, surely. That's crazy.
McNuggets. So yeah, it's pretty expensive, but it is so beautiful. It is on my visit list and I will definitely go there. But if you want a cheaper version, come to my country. We have taller mountains than the Swiss and it's not as expensive. Every single person who has been to Spain will not stop talking to me about it. They keep saying, oh, it's the best place.
Yeah, Five Guys has always been like the most overpriced place, genuinely. It's like, they end up being, I don't know, it's like you want to get a burger and it's like £7 or like £8 or something.
Ever. It's so nice, it's so sunny, and everything is so cheap. The thing you gotta realize about Spain is that they were running shit. Spain and Portugal were so powerful at one point that they made a treaty splitting the entire world between them. Some people might call this treaty a little too ambitious, but aim for the stars, so if you fall, you end up serving British tourists. But
You're a millionaire? So I can't complain about the price of a Five Guys anymore?
their ambition failed them because they were simply
Also a billionaire, not a millionaire.
too lazy to do all this. They discovered the native pussy and getting free gold from South America and never wanted to go back to grinding. So when all their colonies eventually fell apart, they became much poorer than they used to be. Spain is absolutely gorgeous. Barcelona looks like it was designed by good artists, and for the most part it was. And the south of Spain is probably one
Thank you, Paul, for the prime.
of the most beautiful places on earth. Canary Islands look insane and everyone who goes there says it's the most beautiful place ever, aside from when they see old British tourists walking with their dicks out. I'm not trying to see that, man.
Got the whole fish and chips dangling.
Andalusia looks amazing because it was also heavily influenced by Moroccan architecture, who were ruling for 800 years. Also, by kicking the Moroccans out during Reconquista, the Spanish also learned how to kick balls straight into their enemy's goalpost. They've been so dominant in winning the Euros, it just makes me mad. We literally beat Portugal just to get defeated by Spain, and then they won the World Cup. They harvest souls. These people are cracked at football. If your country has to play against Spain, good luck, because you'd have to be a moron to even bet on your team against Spain. Just like you would have to be a moron to bet against Ilia Topuria. That's right, this Georgian man who lives in Spain is a UFC champion and the best fighter in the UFC. Some people would like you to think that Islam is better, but just you wait until that match. I had a taxi driver in Poland telling me, oh, I think Max Holloway is going to beat Topuria, and I'm like, brother, that is not going to happen. Boom. So Ilia Topuria is the pride of both Spain and Georgia, which I'm very happy to see. He's
I love how whenever that guy wins a match, he just always cries.
Georgian, lives in Spain. Either way, he's from Iberia. Literally, what can I say, man? Their economy is good. It looks gorgeous. It is widely believed by many people to be the best country in Europe just because of the weather, its beauty, and its cheapness. Literally, just go to Google Maps and look at everything. I really want to visit, but I've heard they're a bit iffy with tourists. But me being ethnically ambiguous, I think I will be fine and blend in with the Spaniards. Portugal is a fictional country created by the British to counteract the Spanish Empire, which is exactly why they've had the longest alliance between two countries of all
God, I gotta play Metal Gear Rising at some point, man. It's so cracked.
time, literally running since 1373. That's insane. Portugal is pretty famous for going literally anywhere for gold, which is why they had a bunch of colonies. They were running shit for hundreds of years until they lost Brazil and their African colonies, and they were like, what do you mean there's no free money anymore? I gotta industrialize now?
Fuck sunny weather. What you do is sweat when it's sunny. You're probably British by the sounds of it. Inside a brick building.
Come on, man. Just ship shit from Brazil, man. I can't be asked. And then on top of that, they got a fascist in power, and he was like, no, we do not need to industrialize. I want my lazy colony money from Africa, and then proceeded to lose all of their wars in Africa, losing them 3 colonies. He spent all of Portugal's money trying to keep their colonies in Africa instead of investing in infrastructure back home, and then lost the wars. Then he had a stroke and got removed from power. But the funniest thing is, when he recovered, nobody told him they removed him from power. He literally believed he was still ruling the country until he died like a year later. By the time he left, Portugal was cooked. It was one of the poorest and least developed countries in Western Europe. But have you seen Lisbon though? It looks very nice, very gorgeous city. I've almost fell down Lisbon stairs many times. Once you go down them,
Yeah, I could check it out.
and go outside, it's a gorgeous city. But the thing is, Portugal does not have heating. But this is Europe, white people. How do they not have heating? I don't fucking know. That's what I was thinking when I was freezing my balls off stepping out the shower in Lisbon. With only 6.7% of homes having central heating, and with most people using electric heaters. The main issue with electric heaters
I swear there's no winning. It's like your house is going to be too cold or it's going to be too warm.
is that they don't warm your home up, and a lot of times they burn it down. So why Portugal refuses to use central heating like the rest of the world remains a mystery. You can just imagine Ronaldo freezing his balls off using an electric heater. But it is a very beautiful country, also very cheap. I'd highly recommend a visit there. They have cool buildings, and you feel like you're in that one American city because of the cool bridge.
You're in Northern Ireland, dude.
Huh?
As in, like, you're not in the Republic of Ireland.
What do you mean?
Oh, no. Stop.
What is she talking about? We're in Ireland.
The nation of Ireland is responsible for most of the terror attacks in Europe and most of the hardest pictures ever taken in Europe, and for paying me my salary and secretly ruling the world. A lot of anti-Semites think that the Jews run the world, which is just not true. It is merely a ploy by the Irish and Georgians to not realize that despite our small populations, we control the masses. Some call IRA's actions terror attacks. I call it diplomacy. After diplomatically regaining their independence from Britain, they essentially became a tax haven for America.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Birmingham, there was this Irish guy that came up to me. And I was just talking to him for a bit. He was a really friendly guy. And I asked him, like, what part of Ireland are you from? And he said, oh, the real island. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to get knocked out, so I'm just going to nod and walk away.
American companies in Europe, which is why they had a massive GDP growth, such as Apple and Google, which is why every YouTuber in Europe gets
Yeah, it just doesn't even say what county or anything, just says the real island.
paid by Google Ireland, and why the UK declined my tourist visa application because they didn't recognize Google Ireland as an actual company. The Irish have mastered beer. I might personally
Yeah, when you get paid by Google, it's always an island. There has to be some like tax loophole there.
find Guinness an ass beer
Hello,
that tastes like
person
bad
Sweden,
chocolate.
just
But
here to
a lot of
remind you
people
that
love it,
when
and Guinness is a
skateboarding,
whole separate
always have a
culture
pair
of
of
beer.
knee guards
Talking
with
about
you, so that
splitting
when
the
stopped
G
by
and the
police,
debates
you have
on
protection
how
from
Guinness
the
is
asphalt
actually
and
supposed
also
to be
from
poured. Also, for
incoming
some
bullets
reason,
from
Irish
cops.
pubs are literally everywhere in the world. Would you believe me if I told you I was in an Irish pub in Uzbekistan? I was. And
Thank you,
they're
San
found
Andreas, the 10.
everywhere in the world, and my friend Leo is not a big fan of them. Mostly because
Guinness is alright. It's kind of mid. I'll be honest. Guinness is kind of mid. I don't like it.
they play shit music usually, but I think it's because he's British.
I think Guinness drinkers get too much hate though. Like they're treated like basically like the vegans of the drinking world, where it's like, you know, they just talk all about Guinness. But I've never had that experience with people. But yeah, I just don't like it personally.
Dublin does look cool though, but here's the thing. My white pass only extends to the Schengen area. And despite Ireland being in the EU, they're not in Schengen. Why the fuck not? I want to visit Ireland, but I don't want to ship my fucking passport off to Bulgaria, which is where the nearest embassy is, to get it approved. Hell nah, man. Ireland looks nice though. Very plain, very green, a lot of castles. It must definitely be a vibe. Just go to the Schengen so I can visit, man. Come on. Up the rock. I also like the IRA songs. They're dope. Italy is a gorgeous place, and Italians are inventors. They saw Greeks having sex with men, and they realized they could also do it with women. Since then, they haven't stopped inventing things. They've got probably the best culture
Call me Kevin. Yeah, he's from Ireland, right?
export in the world besides the US, such as pizza, the ultimate stoner food, clothing. Literally, France and Italy have the fashion world in a chokehold because they both make the best clothing. And it's beautiful. I can't even make many jokes about Italy because what the fuck am I gonna say? Oh, Italy looks bad. No, it doesn't.
He might make a joke about the siestas in Italy. How they just always go to sleep for like 30 minutes a day.
Only thing I can say is that
it's so weird though. Like I've got Italian friends and they always say like everywhere, like across most parts of Italy, they just shut for like an hour a day because like the sun's up too high. It's too hot.
much like many fascists, they're not white. And hanging Mussolini upside down and then turning that place into a McDonald's was pretty funny. Also, Bella Ciao, the anti-fascist Italian song, is pretty good. What am I supposed to say? The people are hot too. I just wish they were smart, because why else would Italians move from this beautiful place to fucking New Jersey? Yeah, I know the
That's Spain? No. Siestas are in Italy as well.
economy and whatever, but come on, bro, look at this shit. Also, Italians faced a lot of discrimination when they first started migrating to America, being on the same level in American hierarchy as black people, which is how you got the movie Green Book. And Americans discriminating against Italians is crazy to me because, bro, you guys were colonizing Africa together.
They're really showing Luigi and talking about discrimination.
Bro, what are you talking about, man? Also, the British Empire was much more interesting than the Roman Empire. I said what I fucking said. And if anybody got a problem with that, go fight Geopold about it. It is one of the most toured places in the world. They love Georgians because of Quartzchelia. A lot of Georgian flags in Naples. But yeah, it is very nice, and believe me, I will definitely be visiting. You are literally Dutch. Originally, yes. That matters how? A ridiculous, fake language and culture. Send me your cranial
Thank you, Plush, for the prime.
old Jacobian ape. I must study you for science. Jakub, while experimenting, accidentally created the Dutch. His experimental project got out of hand. They started building bike lanes, making land out of nothing. They had grown too powerful, like when Stalin created Azerbaijan, or when he gave Poles toilets, or when a Swede created Russia. They didn't know what this would lead to. The Dutch grew powerful enough and put Jakub in a human zoo. Countries that exhibited people in zoos. I'm amazed and frankly skeptical that the Dutch resisted this particular temptation. They didn't, by the way. They had people in zoos too. The Netherlands is the flattest country in Europe, which is constantly at war, where their most dangerous neighbor is the sea. Also, Amsterdam is very, very badly located. As you can see, it is close to the UK, and they made weed legal and flights cheap there.
I swear weed is illegal there. It is. It's not legal, but it's like decriminalized or something.
Drugs and being
So it's like police just kind of look the other way.
gay aside, which I like, mind you. I'm not saying this in a bad way. This just means the clubs are going to be fire. They have probably the best public transport in Europe. Like, their bike lanes are famously amazing. Their
It is illegal. It's just allowed. You've just said two completely different things.
trains are amazing. Their cities are amazing. I don't know, man. They're just winning in life. Malta is a fictional country invented by the British to keep better control of the Mediterranean Sea. This is why it is like the UK in many cases. The people all drive on the wrong side, the public transport sucks, and it is actually the first EU country I ever went to.
I would like to thank the population of Malta for saying goodbye to me in such a nice way. They even brought me the whole festival. As you can clearly see, thank you. I love Malta. Bye-bye.
And I can't lie, man, this shit looked good. Malta is very, very aesthetically pleasing, and the weather is nearly always amazing there. It genuinely looks like some cool Middle Eastern game, like Prince of Persia or something. Malta is gorgeous, and especially the views with the sea are amazing, really. One slight issue is that they have no gas, just generally. They don't have a gas distribution network, so everyone
It's over. It's over. Entire countries are right off. It's over. It's over.
has to keep fucking gas canisters at home, and a lot of times they keep it on their balconies. I don't know how this shit just doesn't explode in the Maltese heat, because bro, this shit is nearly in Africa, you know? Also, my video game grown-up mind kept wanting to shoot these gas canisters so they would explode. But this is Europe, motherfucker. Keep those guns away. And if you make
Bit
fun of
personal,
Europeans
so
for
don't
not
have
having
to
guns,
answer,
they will
but
surely
how come we're
remind you
not
that
living with
the
her
US is the only
girlfriend?
country where school
Isn't she
shootings
in
are a
Sweden?
problem. What I also like is that they offer a very good digital nomad visa with pretty low taxes, which is why Anomaly lives there. The Swedish man strives for hot weather and low taxes. Malta is beautiful. I suggest everyone visit there. You will have an amazing time. Luxembourg is a very beautiful and a very small country with big colonial ambitions. Luxembourg has a population of the devil's number K people, but despite this, they still wanted to colonize like other European powers. Luxembourg actively helped out Belgium in their colonization of the Congo, and they barely gained any.
Wait, what was that donor that I skipped? How come you're not living with your girlfriend? I just wanted to live on my own. Just independence and stuff.
Anything from helping Belgium out in this. They were mostly doing colonialism for the love of the game. They also tried to give their hand in colonizing Argentina. Bro, you're not like these other people. You don't have the fire like that to be colonizing shit. So they were just helping other Europeans for the love of the game. Also, Luxembourg has the highest GDP per capita in the world, basically because of banking, and its good location helps with that. Also, I was hating on them, but they have free public transport.
Shut up.
And
Shut up.
I know, man. Like, I know they did horrible things, but free public transport is nice. Now, all the micro...
Wait, they got green buses there? I know the bus isn't actually green, but they're called that like when they're free. That's crazy. Yeah, that's like the one good thing about Europe, I'd say.
is nice. Now,
yeah, I think the only good thing about Europe is like for the most part, we've got like really good public transport. I remember going to America and there was just absolutely no transport, like nothing. And then the roads are just always way too wide, like 6 cars wide or something.
all the microstates here are literally smaller than my district in Tbilisi, but they're technically considered countries. So I'm gonna run through them quickly because all of them are a tax haven. Vatican City, smallest country in the world but beautiful. I mostly know it from Eurotrip because I'm Orthodox. Andorra definitely exists.
Thank you, Dark, for the prime.
It definitely has a flag of itself and everything. It's basically a glorified ski resort plus a tax haven. Glorified Formula 1 track, also a tax haven, but it looks nice and is famous for just rich people going there, which sounds like hell, honestly. Liechtenstein is insane because it's so small. You can rent the entire country for only 70k a night. And 70k is a lot, bro, but that's like a Mr. Beast gift, you know? Also, it's an absolute monarchy. Nothing in life is guaranteed except death. But I guarantee you laughed at least once in this video. So for making you laugh, please like and subscribe to my channel. My country's rising real estate prices lead
48%.
me to needing money.
What country has the worst housing market again? It's either New Zealand or it's Canada. Like one of those is absolutely horrendous.
And
thank you, Rocco, for the prime.
For subscribers. Like and subscribe and goodbye. Thank you so much for watching.
Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
What? Was that AI? Was that AI? I actually can't even tell. Thank you, Wide World, for joining.